Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Rajacharya Ashtottara Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Sanstapakacharya, Savior of the whole world, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Karthik Mad Mahamahotsav Ki Shri Shri Radha Damodar Ki Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Shri Shri Prahlad Narsimhadeva Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So I'd like to welcome each one of you to this Karthik month meditation from 6th October to 5th November, and today is the third day. Briefly, on first day we spoke about the glories of Karthik month, the different festivals of Karthik, and what is the brata that we have to follow. The second day, I spoke about, of course, this was the last year's meditation. If it is the last day of Karthik, what we would have done and how we could be serious. And then we spoke about the power of association, how in the power of association really one gets the Krishna touch. Right, and that's what makes the whole difference. Madashraya kathamrishta shrinvanti kathayanti cha tapanti vividhastapa naitan madgata chetasa. The point here was the sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activities. Naitan madgata chetasa. You see, the first day of Karthik we had how many people? 10, maybe 15, I would say. 14. Second day? Third day? Only one person there. 3-4 years, right? Have you ever wondered why this happens? When I was thinking to myself, what is the problem? One of the reasons why it happens is we feel inspiration, we feel that I should take this seriously, but I step outside. I heard yesterday night 7:30 for 45 minutes, that too in a full speed of the jet or something. Such, so many things you have to say, you have to finish. Then you go back, how much you retain, that depends upon how much you are ruminating on it, how much you are meditating or contemplating upon it. So, assuming that you did something, the next whole day, you are interacting with the modes of material nature, the material world, materialistic thoughts, very powerful. The effect of that, yes, Karthik is very important to me. Okay, what mind says? At least I'm offering a ghee lamp in my home. At least I'm able to chant 16 rounds. I'm not missing on this. No. What is the big deal? And sometimes I've heard some people say that this temple devotees, they want in everything, they want us to be there. As if the temple has some propaganda or some agenda that all of you should come if we do any festival. So yesterday also I was talking before the exam, if you think that now this is the exam and I don't know, this is a very crucial, critical exam for my life and I'm not prepared well, quickly, क्या पढ़ा है रे भाई तुम अरुणा, कुछ बताओ थोड़ा, कुछ notes वोट्स दे दो, something, some cheat sheet or something I can mug up the last minute and I can just reproduce. Actually, today what I'm going to share with you is something which we have to think, because ultimately it's our life. All of us are independent. No temple will come when you are having your final this thing. That is not like somebody will be present with you and they will tell you or remind you, hey, chant now. Remember, engage something, do some Krishna service. We have to do it ourselves. There is that exam which is the most difficult one in life, but which is sure for everyone. Each one of us, we have to face it. Everybody. Nobody is an exception. It's the exam of death. Nobody can predict who will be there at that time. Whether my family members will be there, whether my relatives will be there, who will be there, what will be the circumstance, what will happen to me, we can't predict that. Imagine some such situation happened in somebody's life. Very, very scary. He knew it's imminent. And what he did and the questions that he was asking is, it's very desperate measures. Desperate measures come in life many times when we know that nothing is in my control. So to understand what we're going to speak today and how, if you just take the essence of this, because who knows, even for 31 days I'll be there or not, I don't know. Whether you'll be able to come all the 31 days or whatever, Karthik, we don't know. Nobody knows. But this message, if it goes inside, deep within our consciousness, if we carry it and remember it, it will inspire us. So I want to start today, not with a verse first, but with a saying which Prabhupada is writing somewhere. Prabhupada is saying, and I'm saying, my humble request is 45 minutes. As I said, how much we retain, we don't know, but pay attention. Very, very important. Very, 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 very important. Prabhupada is writing, material life means miseries as there is danger at every step of our life. We know Bhagavad Gita says this, Dukkhalayam asasvatam, right? 8.15. Dukkhalayam asasvatam. Imagine if, you would have seen sometimes, I've seen this people who get some pain by inflicting pain on themselves. They will walk on some fire or something. They will beat themselves with the whip or something. Imagine you are walking on something which is filled with fire, like some coal. I don't know, they keep my table in such a way, neither I face the men devotees nor I face the women devotees. I face some blank wall or some door somewhere and speak. I have to either look this side or I have to, where are these people, somewhere, something. Anyway, imagine you have to walk on that path which is filled with coals. Every step, you are fearful of, I'm not talking about those who are taking pleasure. We are fearful that it is going to burn my feet. Material world is like that. Material life means miseries as there is danger at every step of our life. Dukkhalayam asasvatam. Bhagavatam puts it beautifully. Padam padam yad vipadat. Padam padam. Padam padam. Every step you're putting your step and there is a danger. Padam padam yad vipadat natesha. What is the danger? But I'm not feeling anything. Very nicely Prabhupada puts this. Irrespective of place. Somebody thinks that मैं तो अभी अमेरिका में आ गया हूँ. क्या इंडिया में लोग मरते रहते हैं. Something happens, diseases, lack of facilities, lack of amenities. I'm in US, most prosperous country. Irrespective of place where one is situated. Or one's age. I'm very young now. What is all these people you know have no business, you keep talking about death all the time. Irrespective of one's age. Or economical status. The other thing that gives one confidence is, I'm very rich, I have so much of money, I don't know what to do with it. Who wants to go to this temple spirituality? Or at least in the name of, if we have to go to temple, there should be some Gana, Vana, Maja, Mauj, place. This subtle sense gratification should be there. We should come, talk, congregate nicely, hey, pipe, and then temple bhi hai, Bhagavan ko bhi pray kiya, $1, $2, $3 dala, khaya gaya. Irrespective of place where one is situated, or one's age, or economical status, all of us are subject to the miseries of death, birth, disease and old age. All of us are subject to the miseries of death, birth, disease and old age. So it is not, nobody is exempt. That is why Srila Sukadev Goswami has very nicely explained the remedy for these miseries. And he's saying constant hearing, glorifying and remembrance of Supreme Lord Hari is the only way to overcome these miseries. What happens is, actually, there is that one scientist who did this very famous experiment, right? Where he had a rat trap, like in India we used to have those, not this ones they use in the US, where it gets trapped like that. Those wooden one will be there with open this thing, and you put some cheese or some roti, and then the rat will go inside, right? So the rat goes, on top there will be few railings or few those iron strips through which you can see with the hole that the rat is already stuck. So what this scientist did was, he when the rat was trapped inside, he used 2 electrodes, and one of the electrodes he put some cheese, and the other electrode was having some, if he touches that, he'll get some shock. So now the rat is there, it's a small confined space, and he is going, and these are like electrodes, so the rat is going, and he gets he touches the first electrode, he gets some cheese. खाता है, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, cheese तो किसको खराब लगता है, we also eat. Second electrode he touches, and the second electrode, the moment he touches, there is an electric shock. So it's a shock, right? So you feel this thing. So rat is also getting a little bit of shock. So he is, in his mind, he's thinking, oh, so this is electric shock, this is cheese. So he's calculating, okay, I got it, I figured it out. Then the scientist changes this time. The one that is giving cheese now is giving shock. So he goes to the next one, tack, there is shock. So he goes this side and he finds some cheese. So he is in his mind, so it's constantly changing. He's not able to figure it out. Where is the cheese? Where is the shock? But he's struggling with all these things. And in the meantime, the scientist opens the trap. The rat is not going. This is what happens to us. We hear everything. आत्मा है हम लोग, शरीर नहीं है. बाहर चले जाते हैं, पूरा शरीर का सब कुछ आ जाता है. The entire bodily concepts get superimposed. We forget that we are getting shocks. We are busy. कहाँ से मिलेगा थोड़ा चीज? Even if there is door to liberation is open, we are not interested. And चला जाएगा ऐसा. कार्तिक क्या है? पूरा life भी चला जाएगा. We will not be able to get this. That's why very, very, very significant this verse which I am going to share, and the purport of this is amazing purport. So what we are saying is, in this whatever 28 days, 27, 28 days are remaining. Today is the 3rd day of Karthik. if somehow you can bring all your attention in gathering some essence of spiritual life. Because Karthik is not just about taking that vow of offering one ghee lamp and doing some, early birth. Those are things which are necessary. For what? For what? What is it? Gather the essence. Be very, very particular about that essence. Because once Karthik is gone, then it's gone. Forget about even whole Karthik. Even 2 days are gone, you see drop. 4 days gone, something else will happen. Because life has got always some uncertainties, some things which are unfolding which we don't know. How the day will be, what will happen to us, we don't know. So how that essence is very important. In a verse in 1st Canto 19th chapter, actually this Parikshit puts this question to Sukadeva Goswami. And Sukadeva Goswami, when he enters into that arena where there were so many sages, they were assembled, and Parikshit, imagine the situation of Parikshit, poor fellow, whatever he has done, one offense, and then that, the son of that sage, Samika Rishi, has cursed him. You are going to die in 7 days and 7 nights. Unlike, today's scenario, we sometimes curse each other, tu khana nahi dunga, something like that. It doesn't happen because we don't have that purity, because those days they had. So he knows that he's going to die. Here he is asking. See the desperation in this. Atah prichhami samsiddhim yoginam paramam gurum purushasyeha yat karyam mriyamanasya sarvatha. Atah prichhami samsiddhim yoginam paramam gurum. I mean, even solution, whom to ask? Who's there to give us solution? 99.99% of the people misdirect us. They make us more engaged in sense gratificatory business. And the solutions give more miseries. Atah prichhami samsiddhim yoginam paramam gurum. Oh, my great fortune, Sukadeva Goswami, you are present here. Mriyamanasya sarvatha. Purushasya iha yat karyam mriyamana. Mriyamana means I am on the threshold of death. It's over. I'm going to die. If you just for a second visualize yourself in the shoes of Parikshit, something has happened in our life. We know it. It's over. Maybe our teeth has gone, everything, hair fully old, grey, and the skin is wrinkled or whatever. And I know this is time. आ गया, समय आ गया. क्या करूँगा मैं? अतः पृच्छामि संसिद्धिं योगिनां परमं गुरुं पुरुषस्य यह यत् कार्यं म्रियमाणस्य सर्वथा. We don't have a lot of time because I want to come to the essence, but bear with me. So he's asking, you are the spiritual master of great saints and devotees. I am therefore begging you. I literally am begging. I mean, what? Sometimes we have some disease and we go to some hospital and doctor. Even that, not the pain or the misery that we undergo when we go to a hospital, if you compare that to be X, the time of death, the misery that you have to undergo, maybe 1000x. We can't even think of. So how desperate we feel, somehow do something, give me some medicine, something, some treatment so that I get better. He's saying, you are the spiritual master of great saints and devotees. I am therefore begging you to show the way of perfection for all persons. For all persons, but especially for one who is about to die. The moment we hear this, we think we are not the ones who are going to die. Especially for one who is about to die. Mriyamanasya sarvatha. And in the next verse, he is asking, Yach shrotavyam atho japyam yat kartavyam nirvihi prabho smartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhi yadva viparyayam. Yat shrotavyam atho japyam yat kartavyam nirvihi prabho smartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhi yadva viparyayam. यत श्रोत. मैं क्या सुनूं अभी? What should I hear? क्या बोलूं? What should I chant? Yat shrotavyam atho japyam yat kartavyam. What should I do? What will I do? Nirbhi prabho smartavyam. What should I remember? Bhajaniyam ba. What should I worship? Bruhi yadba vipariyayam. Please let me know what a man should hear, chant, remember and worship. Also what he should not do. Bruhi yadba vipariyayam. What I should not do. Please explain all this to me. This is the exam, which is the exam of all exams. This is the situation which each one of us has to face individually. There will not be anybody to remind you, hey, kar, jap kar, chant. Hey, why are you not listening? Why are you wasting your time? Why are you getting so attached to this? That like that rat being attached to the cheese and this thing to figure it out and forgetting about the path of liberation. Nobody will tell you. Now the answer which Sukadeva Goswami gives is the verse that we're going to chant. Very powerful verse. Very. Depending upon the time, that much time that is permitting, I'll tell that much. But this thing is, whatever is given, what Prabhupada has written, this is one of the most, I would say, fundamental verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. So you can repeat. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavyah Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichata Bhayam Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichata Bhayam. It's actually Cha Ichata Abhayam. It becomes Chechata Bhayam, but I didn't want you to put it in difficulty, so I'm chanting Cha Ichata Abhayam. These words of Bhagavatam, as I said, no. Be Saragrahi and take the essence and keep it very close to your hearts. Very, very close. Because the temple will not benefit if you come to the temple. The sevas of the Lord will go on. But this time that we are investing, if we don't get the essence, nobody else is going to lose except for us. So what this verse is telling is, a descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries. You want to become fearless. Is fear in every step of our life. Dukhalayama sasvatam padam yad vipadat. So, O descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries must Shrotavya. Shrotavya is not optional. It's not, ठीक है, आज नहीं कल नहीं परसों ये नहीं तो next one. Must hear about glorify. It's again must glorify. Must remember the personality of Godhead. These are Sanskrit words, Shrotavya. This is lat bidhiling lot lung root. So this is lot bidhiling lot lung root. Root is future. Lot bidhiling lot, which is you have to. There are things which you have choice, but this is not the one. You must. Why? Why you should? If you want to become free from the miseries. This is tasmad, therefore. Sukadeva Goswami is emphasizing, therefore. Your question that you have put forward, Parikshit Maharaj, if you want solution, therefore, tasmad. Tasmad bharata sarvatma bhagavan ishvaro hari shrotavya kirtitavyascha smartavyascha ichchata bhayam. Must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and the savior from all miseries. don't know how much time we have, but so pay attention to this wonderful purport which Prabhupada has written. Actually, it's so beautiful. You should read this as many times as possible. And there are many important things. Maybe 4 or 5 important things I'll share. We will read the verse again, and I want all of you to memorize this verse, and I'll tell you how you can memorize also very easily. It's not difficult. So pay attention with me in this purport reading. In the previous verse, Srila Sukadev Goswami has described how the foolish materially attached men are wasting their valuable time in the improvement of the material conditions of life by sleeping, indulging in sex life, developing economic conditions, and maintaining a band of relatives who are to be vanquished in the air of oblivion. You become extremely successful. You have got so many wives, so many husbands, I don't know, whatever, so many children, so many relatives. All of them are very happily, nicely, they're enjoying in their respective fields. You have got your son, so nice, comfortable life where you can sleep. What Prabhupada is saying that they'll be vanquished in the air of oblivion. Think of our father, grandparents or forefathers. Maybe in their times were so successful in their respective ways. Somebody was some minister, collector, somebody was some rich businessman. They had their own glories. They had their own times of success. Where had they gone? They'll be vanquished in the air of oblivion. Being engaged in all these materialistic activities, the living soul entangles himself in the cycle of the law of fruitive actions. This line is so powerful. If I don't touch upon this, please remind me before we finish. Being engaged in all these materialistic activities, the living soul entangles himself in the cycle of the law of fruitive actions. This entails the chain of birth and death in the 8,400,000 species of life, the aquatics, the vegetables, the reptiles, the birds, the beasts, the uncivilized man, and then again the human form, which is the chance for getting out of the cycle of fruitive action. Therefore, if one desires freedom from this vicious cycle, then one must cease to act as karmi or enjoyer of the results of one's own work, good or bad. One should not do anything, either good or bad, on his own account, but must execute everything on behalf of the Supreme Lord, the ultimate proprietor of everything that be. The process of doing work is recommended in the Bhagavad Gita 9.27, also where instruction is given for working on the Lord's account. Therefore, one should first of all hear about the Lord. See, the process Prabhupada is right. First of all, one should hear about the Lord. When one has perfectly and scrutinizingly heard, one must glorify his acts and deeds. And thus it will become possible to remember constantly. How will we remember the Lord? If somebody has not developed the taste of hearing, people think actually hearing is a process of acquiring transcendental knowledge. And I would say no, because Prabhupada explains what hearing does. There is something more. It's not about just learning spiritual science, hence I have to hear. Oh, there is more to it. That's why I'm saying that line of that, being engaged in all materialistic activities, the living soul entangles himself in the cycle of law of fruitive actions. Remind me and then I'll tell you what exactly hearing does. When one has perfectly and scrutinizingly heard, one must glorify his acts and deeds, and thus it will become possible to remember constantly the transcendental nature of the Lord. Hearing about and glorifying the Lord are identical with the transcendental nature of the Lord, and by so doing, one will be always in the association of the Lord. This brings freedom from all sorts of fear. The Lord is the super soul, Paramatma, present in the hearts of all living beings. And thus, by the above hearing and glorifying process, The Lord invites the association of all in His creation. This process of hearing about and glorifying the Lord is applicable for everyone, whoever he may be. And it will lead one to the ultimate success in everything in which one may be engaged by providence. There are many classes of human beings, the fruitive workers, the empiric philosophers, the mystic yogis, and ultimately the unalloyed devotees. For all of them, one and the same process is applicable for achieving the desired success. There is no different process for... Anyway, everyone wants to be free from all kinds of fear. Everyone wants the fullest extent of happiness in life. The perfect process for achieving this here and now is recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is uttered by such a great authority as Srila Sukadeva Goswami. And what is that? Prabhupada concludes this last line, very, very powerful. By hearing about and glorifying the Lord, all a person's activities become molded into spiritual activities. And thus all conceptions of material miseries become completely vanquished. Our material activities need to be molded. I'm repeatedly telling you, get the essence. Right? Why we have to hear, why we have to chant, why we have to remember the Lord. What is the significance? This is the most desperate time for Parikshit. He knows and he's begging. Who knows the solution? Please tell me, what should I do? What should I chant? What should I think? What should be my duty? Especially at the time of death, Briyamana, even otherwise for people in general. And this is the answer which is giving. And this is a purport. I'm saying it's worth reading at least 100 times. It's so nice, so beautiful purport. So we've got about 13 minutes, out of which maybe I'll speak 8 minutes about some very key crucial points. As I mentioned, that one line which I told you, remind me what exactly hearing does. And then there are some more very interesting things, and we will chant the words and we will conclude with that. Okay, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada has very nicely emphasized the importance of hearing the Lord's glories. Again, this is reiterated. Therefore, one should first of all hear about the Lord. When one has perfectly and scrutinizingly heard, one must glorify his acts. Actually, you can't glorify in this lecture that Prabhupada has given from 2.1.1 to 4. Fifth one is not there. Prabhupada writes, unless one has heard, he can never glorify the Lord. If somebody asks you to talk and you have not heard properly, you cannot do it. Unless one hears, one should first of all hear about the Lord. When one has perfectly, so how you have to hear also? Perfectly and scrutinizingly. Then you'll be able to glorify his acts and deeds. And thus it will become possible to remember the Lord, the transcendental nature of the Lord. Hearing about and glorifying the Lord are identical with the transcendental nature of the Lord. We are not hearing about some mundane people, not something we will talk about some famous sports person, politician, Desh Bhakt, or some Samaj Sevak. Talking about the Supreme Lord. His name, his activities, his pastimes are non-different. So I'm directly coming in touch with the supreme pure thing. Hearing about and glorifying the Lord are identical with the transcendental nature of the Lord. The nature of the Lord is transcendental. And by so doing, one will always be in the association of the Lord. By so doing, if you do that, if you are hearing, if you are reading, it will be always in association of the Lord. Anyway, I'll skip this. So absorbing ourselves in Krishna Katha alone can make us fearless. This is the first thing. It can make us fearless. Ichata bhayam. We are all seeking fearless. Right? In all situations of our life, there is some anxiety, some tension, some fear. Kya hoga mera? What will happen? But we don't want to do this. We don't want to act on it. But here it is mentioned, Shrotavya kirtitavyascha smartavyascha ichata bhayam. You can become fearless by absorbing. Otherwise, we'll be drowning in the whirlpool of endless miseries, one after the other. In Srimad Bhagavatam 12.6.5, Parikshit Maharaj, after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami, says very nicely, my Lord, I now have no fear of Takshak or any other living being. or even of a repeated deaths, because I have absorbed myself in that purely spiritual absolute truth which you have revealed and which destroys all fear, because I have absorbed. Material world, materialistic people are absorbed in Maithuna Sukha, which Prabhupada says that Shrotva Vyadini Rajendra, or Bhagavatam says Shrotva Vyadini Rajendra Nrinam Santi Sahasrasha Apasyatam Atmatatam. They are not worried. They are not able to see, because Griheshu Griha Medina, the attraction for enjoyment by coming together and seeking protection, especially for women, and men seeking attention and expanding. And they're apashyatam atmat. Because I have absorbed myself in that purely spiritual absolute truth which you have revealed and which destroys all fear. This is Parikshit Maharaj is saying. Mind you, death is fearful, but imagine being killed or being dying because of the snake bite. It's a poisonous snake, right? It's not something which one looks forward to. But for those who are absorbed in Krishna Katha, he becomes fearless as they have taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, who is Abhay, personification of fearlessness. Mundane topics drive us crazy, and we can definitely not relish hearing it over and over again. But Krishna Katha is very fresh, rejuvenating, even if we hear it multiple times. In Srimad Bhagavatam 2.8.26, Parikshit Maharaj says, O learned Brahmana, because of my drinking the nectar of the message of the infallible personality of Godhead, because of my drinking the nectar of the message of the infallible personality of Godhead, which is flowing down from the ocean of your speeches, I do not feel any sort of exhaustion due to my fasting. Actually, anyway. Glorifying Parikshit Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada says in his purport to this verse that Maharaj Parikshit was not at all afraid of death, for he was fully encouraged by the message of the Lord. One who is fully absorbed in Achyuta Katha can never be afraid of anything in this world. Since Krishna Katha is transcendental like the Supreme Lord, when we absorb ourselves in hearing the Katha sincerely, the mundane bodily troubles like hunger, thirst, sleep, etc. doesn't affect us. We can see how pure devotees of the Lord, like 6 Goswamis, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Prabhupada and others, were so absorbed in Krishna Katha that they could afford to sleep only 2-3 hours, but still continue with their sadhana and seva with full energy and focus. Also, they never feared the threats, talks and deeds of atheistic people around them. So, so you are seeing the power of hearing Krishna Katha. Actually, it's not a choice. We must. But here is the most crucial thing which, if you want to remember from this verse, just remember this one thing. What happens is, when we are hearing Krishna Katha, our life, is unfolding different circumstances, different situations in our life, based on our previous karma and the karma that we have done. There is an impersonal energy of the Lord which is called Kala, which is manifesting different seeds. Because of our karma that we have done, there is one seed that we put, and that seed fructifies, becomes a tree, and at a right time, there is a fruit which is coming. That fruit could be of happiness, could be of misery. And the only way you can get rid of this karma bija is by enjoying that happiness or distress. This is what happens for most people. Everybody's life, they've got desires and they've got bijas, karma bijas that they have done in their past life and in this life. And they've seed, and that seed has gone, it has been sown, so the tree fructifies and the fruit comes and you have to experience that. Bad karma, no choice, you have to enjoy distress. Good karma, no problem, you'll enjoy happiness, but you have to enjoy, and that is the only way of getting rid of your karma bijas for people who are not devotees. What happens is, when somebody hears Krishna Katha nicely, as I said, it is not about your transcendental knowledge. It is not just for the sake of hearing transcendental knowledge, or to get transcendental knowledge we should hear. There is another very powerful reason why we should hear. Somebody may say, अरे मेरा अभी फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम्स है, मेरा अभी बच्चों का प्रॉब्लम है, रिलेशनशिप प्रॉब्लम इज गोइंग ऑन, माय प्रमोशन इज नॉट हैपनिंग, माय जॉब इज अंडर थ्रेट. हाउ दिस प्रॉब्लम विल गो इफ आई हियर सिटिंग हियर कृष्ण कथा? हु इज गोइंग टू टेक केयर ऑफ माय फैमिली? हु इज गोइंग टू टेक केयर ऑफ माय? दैट्स हाउ पीपल थिंक, because they don't know the real benefit of hearing Krishna Katha. What Krishna Katha does, or when we chant the names of the Lord and we hear attentively, problems are not going to go away like that. But what the Lord does, and this is the beauty of Bhagavatam, this is the beauty of the Lord. He removes the problems from the root. The root cause of the problems are removed from the heart, because of which we are suffering, we are going through this thing. Those roots are removed. When we hear attentively, when we hear scrutinizingly, when we hear properly, when we are chanting, we are associating with that supreme pure Lord, because He's not different from His message and His names. And when that happens, all the karma vijas in our heart get melted, get burnt out. The reactions, every karma that you do, you're sowing a seed. Every karma. There is a desire. So once you do that, and there is a seed that you have sown, then it is an impression. It automatically, there is a strong this thing that you want to do it again. Those karma bijas bind us. As time, as the impersonal this thing of the Lord, as the energy, as time unfolds, these bijas keep fructifying. But when you hear, all these bijas get burnt out. That is why you must. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishwaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichhata Bhayam. We have maybe 4-5 minutes, we will chant this verse, but I want all of you to memorize this verse, and it's very easy. What Sukadeva Goswami is telling to Parikshit in his most desperate time, that time where it is imminent, he is going to die, that you should do these 3 things. And it is not a choice, it's not an option. You must. And the first thing that he's saying is Shrotavya. The third line, first word, Shrotavya, you must hear. Kirtitavya, you must glorify or chant. Shrotavya, Kirtitavya. And the third one, Smartavya. Smartavya is remember. So you must hear attentively. You must chant Kirtitavya. And Smartavya, you should remember. If you do these 3 things, what will happen? Cha Ichhata Abhayam. Ichhata. We are all seeking how we can become free from the miseries, how we can become fearless. Here it is. Here is the choice. Here is the option which is given. Ichhata. You want to become fearless? Abhayam? Then do this. So, Shrotavya, Kirtitavya, Smartavya of what? Tasmad, therefore, Bharata, by the way, refers to anybody who's coming in the Bharat dynasty, which includes even Arjuna. Sometimes Arjuna is addressed as Bharat, but here Bharata is referring to Parikshit Maharaj. Tasmad, therefore, Bharata. Then the Lord is described in 4 words. Sarvatma, Bhagavan, Ishwara, Hari. 4 words for the Lord, 3 things that we should do. Then what will be the result? Ichhata Bhayam. And the first 2 words is saying Tasmad, therefore, hence, to whom? Bharata. Who is Bharata? Parikshit. Who is Parikshit? Descendant in the Bharata dynasty. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma. First word that is used for the Lord is Sarvatma. Atma means soul. Soul is conscious of our own this thing, our body. Whatever is happening in our body, we are cognizant of it. I don't know what's happening to her, what's happening to somebody else's in his body. I'm not aware of it. But the soul is conscious of this body, this kshetra. But the Lord is personally present in everybody's heart. That's why He's Sarvatma. This one concept, if you get it rightly, right? Why the Lord is sitting in your heart? To know about her things, what is going on? To know about His problems? To know individually the problems that we are going through. He's personally there to reciprocate. The Lord is so compassionate. Right there in our heart is there. And He's seeing what desires, what these things is happening, and He's willing to, He's sanctioning those. He's personally there with me to guide, to sanction. Sarvatma Tasmad Bharata Sarvat. But we are not taking help. We are not listening. We are not hearing. We are rather busy finding solutions on our own way. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who possesses 6 opulences. Bhagavan. Ishvara. Ishvara is the supreme controller. There can be many controller, but Ishvara is the supreme controller. Brahma Samhita, we chant this verse. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna. Parama Ishvara. Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. And Hari. Hari, who takes away all miseries of our life. Everything he drives away, he takes it away. That Lord. So this verse is so wonderful. Let's chant at least 2 times before we go for Arati. You can repeat after me. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichata Bhayam Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Harihi Shrotavyah Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichata Bhayam Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavyah Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichata Bhayam. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.